And I'm just going to get started right away. In case you haven't met me, my name is Margaret Amulavu, and I'm tuning in from Nairobi, Kenya. And I decided that I'm going to use a bit of slides because I thought that what we want to discuss is quite key. And so I will be able to use my slides to just explain to us what we are doing. And so this morning we are talking about brain health, and brain is key because it controls everything in your system. And if your brain is not working well, then it is a problem. That picture there just to show you that you've got two sides of the brain. One is the logical side, one is the creative side. And so it's just good to know that the brain has got two sides. What's amazing about the brain is that the left-hand side controls the right and the right controls the left. And I just thought that's just some basic information that will be good for you to know. They say that most of us use very little of the brain we have, maybe because we are not aware or there are things that we do not develop. And so I want to go right away. And the 4 areas I'm going to discuss this morning. We're going to talk about ADD that is found in mostly children, attention deficiency disorder. Then I'm going to go through depression, memory, and aging of the brain. So I'll cover those 4 areas in that order. This is just a picture to just show how the brain usually looks like, and don't worry so much about. I've just gone a bit higher just for the sake of the people on the call, because we are all at very different levels when we join business and our understanding is different. Just to understand, that's the brain, and the left-hand side shows a proper working brain, especially when it comes to attention deficiency disorder, and then the one on the right shows some challenges. What we mean by attention deficiency disorder is that you find that young people especially have got a problem with attending to things. They are not able to concentrate. They can't be in one place at the same time. And so they've got an attention challenge. And that has got to do with what we call sugar metabolism in the brain, or how sugar gets used in the brain. And so we are saying it is good to address the brain actually we say right from conception. One should already start looking at how the brain is going to work, because when we conceive, the first part that forms is actually the brain. And so you can see it's a very major thing. So one of the things that gives us attention disorder in children is because of the metabolism or sugar levels in the system. And that graph right down there, I know that most of us, because we are distributors on this call, I believe, have seen that glycemic control zone. And most of us have only associated it with the weight management, because that's where you see it. But I just want to say that the glucose intake in the brain also matters a lot. And so we are saying it is good for us to keep sugar levels at the place they should be. The blue line shows where the sugar levels should be. And the pink line is showing the spikes that happen because basically of our diet, refined foods, fast foods, soft drinks, and the foods that we are doing that make the spikes be so high and so low. Because when we put in sugar into our bloodstream quickly, or what we call glycemic control, glycemic just means the GLY is actually glucose, and semic there is blood. So it's how fast or how sugar gets into your bloodstream, how it gets in. So we are saying when we take high glycemic foods put glucose into our body system very fast. And so we get this pink spiking, which is an up and down. And when that happens, something called insulin, a hormone, produces insulin. And then insulin controls the sugar levels. And so because it is too much insulin is produced. And so the sugar level goes extremely low. You take a lot of, again, of refined food, it goes up. So that up and down of the pink, we call it a roller coaster. And we are saying the sugar levels need to be controlled so that they are on the blue line, which is where the glycemic control zone is. So the first thing with attention deficiency is that we need to address the glucose intake that goes into the brain. And I also found out that children who also watch a lot of television get attention disorder, because you see that television or these electrical gadgets are fixed in one position. And so it's actually the screen that, the things on the screen are the ones that move. But you find that kind of a child can just stay at one place throughout for long periods of time. And so even if they went to a class, they cannot follow the movement of the teacher moving from the right to the left and the other way, because for them, they just look at the screen and it's the one inside that moves and not the child's head. So Some of the things that can cause that, apart from the glucose issue, is again the gadgets that we use that make our children just stay at one place for a long time. And so we are saying we've got a solution. And one of the solutions that we have for attention deficiency disorder is Salmon Oil Plus, our fish oil, a very great oil, got all the 8 molecules of the omega-3 salmon oil. And salmon is a Mediterranean diet, fish from the cold areas, because they realize that people who live along the cold areas on the Mediterranean, there are some challenges they actually do not get. And they realize it has to do with their diet. So our salmon oil, very, very key. Actually, immediately a lady conceives, they should take this product. Actually, they must take it because it contains what we call fatty acids, and the brain needs fatty acids to develop and be able to function well. So this is one of the very key products. It will help even with attention, with concentration and alertness. And then, of course, it helps the brain to function well. And you're going to realize that omega-3 is one of the products that just for a proper functioning brain, one must take. And I always have a very big story on omega-3 because I started using it before I conceived, of course, and right through. And one of the things we did, our daughter, the younger one, did use omega-3 from when she was 3 days old. And I can tell you the difference is amazing. Her brain development was very fast, very key. And we just saw some very amazing results, including that she could sing the Kenya national anthem at 2 years. And without lisping, she talked very early. And she didn't lisp. Lisp is the one children go, dada, mama, and that, but how she just spoke right away. And I can tell the difference mainly was in these supplements that we give, our omega-3, very, very key. The other very key product, of course, is NutriShake. I know that NutriShake is not currently in the market and we could substitute it for Neolife Shake. And this is what now controls those spikes that we saw on the chart of the glucose levels, the glycemic control zone. The NutriShake is the one that will control those spikes so that there's proper sugar utilization in the brain, and so that the brain is able to work well. And one of the things, or the basic things that Neolife Shake will give you, number one, we say it helps with the hormones. Hormones very, very key for the brain function. And then it will also give you antibodies, protection on the cells, so that things like oxidation don't take place as much. And then it will also give you enzymes, and enzymes break down food so that it can give you energy. So Neolife Shake for this presentation, we are going to use the Neolife Shake because NutriShake is not there, but I want to say it's a great product. I know we say it is expensive, but I can tell you, depending on the work that it does, cost is nothing compared to what it can do. And having the 22 amino acids is key because a protein that does not have the 22 amino acids will not do a good job. 14 of the amino acids are essential, and 14 are essential, then we've got 8 non-essential. So our Neolife Shake has got all the 22 together. Very great tasting. We've got 3 flavors, vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry, and you can be able to choose. Excellent, especially for children when they are going to school early morning. Most of the kids don't take breakfast well. And even as for us adults, most of us have a challenge with our breakfast. This could actually make up for your breakfast because it is a complete meal in itself. Then, of course, we've got the CalMag. CalMag, excellent for especially those children with attention deficiency disorder, because it's got a calming effect on the brain, and it's got vitamin D3 that helps not only with the brain function, but also helps with immunity. But the biggest thing it does is the calming down. I don't know if you have seen children throw tantrums. They don't seem to be controllable. And it's because there's so much sugar that is going on into their system. And this sugar gives them too much energy, and that energy has got to be dispensed somehow, one way or another. And because the activities we have for them are not even well coordinated, you find that these sugar levels are so high. And because of that, then they're going to give us challenges and throwing tantrums, not being able to concentrate, cannot do one thing at a time. They are jumpy. And so CalMag, very, very key. So that could be basic for children. And then I want to talk about depression and the brain. Depression is a state. Those are just some pictures of different states taken at different times to just show how the brain looks like in different depression states. And depression is whereby people get a feeling of self-worthlessness, guilt. Either somebody has been feeling guilty or they've been greatly disappointed, maybe a loss of a job, one didn't do well in an exam, or the expectations were not met. And so you get into what we call depression. And depression is very bad because you find that maybe one doesn't want to wake up in the morning, there's no value, they can sleep the whole day. Some get unusual appetite, they just eat and eat, some don't eat at all. So different people react differently. And so it is good for us to address the brain function, because when you're depressed, there's very little you can do. You get suicidal thoughts. And I know this is happening a lot in the world, and it is greatly associated. Of course, there could be genes issues, but the greatest thing that is related to it is actually diet and our lifestyle. And so we are saying that Neolife has got a solution to just relieve and help. But of course, if somebody has got depression, kindly let them see a doctor. We are just saying this is nutrition that can support them, because it has been shown that there are some things that are nutritionally based that could help relieve or manage that. And you're going to find omega-3 very, very key. Omega-3, because of it manages moods, because somebody who's depressed has got up and down moods. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're so sad. So omega-3 helps the brain so that you've got the right moods. It helps the brain to actually be a happy person. So some people are just not so happy because the fatty acids are so low and the brain is not functioning well. And then, of course, we've got vitamin B complex. Vitamin B complex mostly because of it gives the brain good energy levels as far as carbohydrate metabolism is concerned. And then it also controls the nervous system, because the nervous system is also one of the areas that gets highly affected by depression. So vitamin B very key. And what makes our vitamin B very different and effective is that it's got all the B vitamins together. And so our vitamin B is actually a vitamin B complex. And you're going to find that the B vitamins need to work together, including one vitamin B that of late has become very famous, B17. So anytime you hear of anybody looking for vitamin B, just give them a vitamin B complex, because it helps with your system and helps with coordination of the spinal cord, right from the brain up to actually almost at the bottom of the anus there. So vitamin B, when it comes to the nervous system and the nervous system, is a great thing to be able to have. And then I must say that our vitamin B has got what we call sustained release or time release. Those are just some amino acids they have added to it. And to ensure that vitamin B and C, we say they are water soluble. So vitamins are in two categories: water soluble and oil soluble. Oil soluble, the body can store for a while in the liver. Water soluble means that if you take a vitamin B now and maybe go for a short call in the next few minutes, whatever the body has not utilized, all of it goes down the toilet. But with time release or sustained release, it can stay in your body for longer. And that means it gets better utilized. So this vitamin B particularly will stay up to 6 hours in your body, and that means your body will use it for so much longer. So the sustained release or time release formulation, very, very key for us. And then, of course, we've got acidophilus, and I know this could come as a strange thing, that acidophilus is key in depression, because some of it has got to do with how your body is able to utilize what you're eating. And somebody has they've referred to the gut or the digestive system as the second brain. So how your digestive system works could actually affect how your brain works. And that is where acidophilus comes in. And acidophilus is a probiotic, the same way we've got antibiotics. This is one of the products that falls in what we call a probiotic. And the biggest thing probiotics do is that they put a balance in your gut system, and so that the assimilation food moving from your gut to the rest of the body can go in well, in the right way it should. And that is how come that acidophilus is very key when it comes to depression, because you could be eating all the right food, but it is not able to be utilized throughout your cells well, because the movement, the exchange between the gut and the cells is not taking place well. So it will give you the right bacteria, because we've got good bacteria and we've got bacteria that affects us. And because it puts a balance in the gut system as far as the bacteria are concerned, it helps that the utilization of the food or movement from the cells, from the digestive system to the cells, takes place well. And just one acidophilus is equivalent to 10 servings of yogurt. That is very, very high. And then it's coated in such a way that it only gets to work in the intestine. And so it avoids the acidic environment and goes to work right where it should work, and that is great. And you know that you have got a challenge with bacteria. When you start craving for too much sugar, then your bacteria is not well balanced. And also acidophilus, I could just say, mention here, is very key for ladies, because the challenge we get of candida is actually associated to our gut function. And sometimes we go for the Candid B creams and what we are told to use. And yet if we had just addressed our gut system by using acidophilus, it could really help. I know we don't have acidophilus in East Africa because of the storage facilities, but I do believe with time we'll be able to get it. But I know that we are able to talk to people down south, Dr. Eseza and some of the leaders that we have, that we could actually be able to get acidophilus and be able to utilize it. Very, very key product when it comes to especially food utilization from the digestive system to the rest of the health. And then we've got, of course, Formula 4 Plus. A Formula 4 Plus is a multivite. It's got all the vitamins and minerals that you need. And it's also got what we call TNN. And TNN is a base. In fact, as distributors, you know that you must start off with TNN. So Formula 4 Plus, very key, because it's got all the vitamins and minerals in one, including TNN, that allows food to get into the cells or give us what we call cellular nutrition. And maybe I can differentiate between Formula 4 Plus and Formula 4, just for the sake of maybe people could be new on this session. Formula 4 and Formula 4 Plus are very similar in their function in what they do. But the big difference is that Formula 4 Plus has got zinc, more zinc, and zinc is key, especially for people who are older, for us ladies who are older, going into menopause, and then for men, because zinc helps men with their prostate. And then Formula 4 has got all the things that Formula 4 Plus has, but has iron. So if we are looking for iron, and I know we don't have a supplement that now has iron on its own, actually Formula 4 will give you the iron you could be looking at. So people who are in childbearing, the younger ladies in their childbearing, could benefit more from Formula 4 as compared to Formula 4 Plus, but the function is the same. But I know most of us prefer the 4 Plus because of the packaging and the ease with which we are able to carry it around with us. And then I want to move on, and now I'll talk about the memory. And because I know that people are getting ready for exams, children are preparing, so they need these three things to be able to do well. They need to be able to get ready for the exams. They need to be able to concentrate, and then they need to be able to focus so that they are able to do well. And we are just saying that, of course, and then they need sustained energy. Like I said, the brain will not function well without some level of energy. And so we are saying to help with the brain, you're going to realize salmon oil omega-3 is so basic. It is one of the products you must have for the brain function. And then, of course, the Neolife shake, I did talk about it as far as managing the sugar levels is concerned. That is very key for the brain function. And then, of course, Formula 4 Plus, which I did mention. And I just keeping like so that I can zero in, because I've mentioned about the salmon oil, the Neolife shake, and the Formula 4. And then, of course, there is mind enhancement that has been added to this particular memory and concentration and alertness session. Now, mind enhancement helps with what we call peak performance for the brain and accuracy. It helps one to recall or to remember. Some people, as we grow older, because of the toxins that get to the brain, our memory gets less and less. We can't recall things. One cannot concentrate for a long time. There is brain fatigue. And somebody has said brain fatigue is worse than physical fatigue, because body fatigue, once you lie down, it is over. But when the brain gets tired, it's a really, really big challenge. And one of the very key products that are found in mind enhancement is something called ginkgo biloba. And as you go around reading anything on brain health, you're going to find that particular product. It's a herbal product. And what it does, it increases blood flow to the brain. And when blood flow is increased to the brain, of course, the blood has got oxygen. Oxygen is the biggest thing, that if the brain lacks oxygen for even a minute, you're as good as gone. And so ginkgo biloba ensures that brain gets the oxygen levels up by increasing the blood flow to the brain. And when blood flow is increased to the brain, I can tell you, you will be able to recall. One of the things I can say, you're able to recall things almost at a pictorial level, where you can almost recall and relate to things as they happened. And that is a very unique thing. And also it helps to detoxify the brain, because there are toxins that get to the brain. And so mind enhancement, very, very key. And mind enhancement can be given to school-going children. The only thing for them, you could do half a tablet in the morning and half a tablet in the evening, as compared to the adults who take one tablet in the morning and one tablet in the evening. Mind enhancement is also very key for people who coordinate a lot of things, CEOs, MDs, people who seem to have to be doing so much. They've got so many things that they've got to work with the brain, because the brain function is the one that coordinates everything. In fact, somebody who is seated down using their brain works more than a person who is doing manual work. So the brain needs to work more. That's why people who do thinking, called think tanks, and come up with ideas and give solutions are paid more money than a person who does manual labor for 5 hours. And people are always wondering, why would such a person be paid so much money and they seem to be just sitting down somewhere? It's because brain is really, really a high performance organ. And if it's taken well care of, it can sort out very, very many issues in your life. And then I want to just say that I could maybe go back there and say, so for people who are doing exams, these are the products you need to give them, and so that they are able to perform well. People in college in Kenya here, and I believe in most parts of the world, it's an exam time, especially maybe Europe, where their term starts in September. But for those of us, I think in Africa, our school terms are now, people are doing exams now. And this is a good program for people who want their children to do well. It will also help you to focus. Focus is just to follow one course until success. You are able to concentrate and focus, and then you don't have to have challenges with concentration. Because one of the things when people are doing exams is that they have to study and read for long hours. They have to sit for longer, and so they need products that can help with that. But apparently, somebody has said that the brain can only take as much as the bottom can endure. So that is also there. So if you've got to sit for longer, then you need to take care of the brain to be able to function for as long as need be. And that is where these products come in. I just want to go just wind up for the sake of our time and talk about brain aging. And these are some of the things that happen with the brain. And like I said, those images are just there, depending on who is on the call, they're able to use them for different reasons. And we're just saying on the extreme left is the normal brain. And then we've got a brain with cognitive impairment. Cognitive is being able to recognize things. And then a brain that has got Alzheimer's disease, that's how it would look like. And we know that we've got things like dementia that happen to the brain. Dementia is brain shrinkage. And so with time, the brain shrinks so much. And so things like memory become a problem. And then there's degeneration, aging of the cells that takes place as we go older, and also because of the diets that we seem to have. And then we've got things like Alzheimer's. These are just different challenges that the brain gets as aging takes place. But we are saying we've got a solution that can help the brain age well, gracefully, and you can have your memory until death do us part if you take care of it. So salmon oil plies, like I said, is a key product, and you can see it has appeared along all the way, and that just tells you how important and key it is. Then we've got carotenoid. Carotenoid complex, very key, because one of the things that ages the brain is oxidation, and oxidation is like damage on the cells. And so carotenoid puts a protection on the cells and helps with aging and oxidation. And so the aging process of the brain is reduced. And one of the things that they have done a great research on these products is that carotenoid will reduce the cells aging process by 44%. And that's very high. And that's how come you can age gracefully. I always never forget our founder. He used to come every 10 years. And I remember a trip he did in 2010. And he came around May to Kenya, and he was able to talk about all the countries he'd been to before coming to Kenya. And there were about 14. And he said them in exact order that he went to them. And he was not referring to any paperwork. And I thought that is just, wow, so amazing that he could be able to do that. And I can say that these products, of course, put you on another level. They are superior, well-researched, and you can be sure then when you're using them and passing them on, they are products that will not shame you. So carotenoid complex, and then it will also boost immunity, and immunity is key for the whole body. And of course, for the brain, it has to do with the aging of the cells, that it actually reduces it very drastically. It's got 7 different fruits and vegetables. This particular container has 115 kilos of fruits and vegetables, and that is really, really something to be able to get it in such a pack. Then, of course, we've got flavonoids. So carotenoid will work on the fatty parts of the cells. We talked about storage. This one stores, carotenoid is fat soluble. Flavonoid is water soluble. And so it means it will work on the watery part of the cell. And the biggest thing it does, it also gives you vitamin C, which is also an antioxidant. And so it helps the brain to function well. So carotenoid and flavonoid, they do different things in the cell of the brain, and they are good products to have. And as far as actually oxidation is still concerned, flavonoid still teams up very well with carotenoid to give your brain a good function. Then, of course, Formula 4 Plus, and it will help a great deal. Just as I conclude, I want to say that apart from these supplements, one of the things we must change, thank God to Dr. S's as input on our lives. We know that we need to use the good cleaning products, because I think at one session, a very good audio, and if you have not listened to that recording, get it and listen to it about toxins that are found in the cleaning products, and you're going to realize things like dementia and aging of the brain actually is related to the cleaning products. So apart from the supplements, the other thing we need to do is actually change our cleaning products, because then we are saying we are going to do a total value thing, so that we are not only taking care of external of just the thing that goes into our bodies, but we're also taking care of our environment. So it's very key that we also bring the cleaning products along, so that our environment is clean and our bodies can be clean both inside and outside. And this is just a summary to say that for your daily nutrition, you want to take your Pro Vitality that has got all those things, 15 kilos of whole grains, 36 kilos of raw fruits and vegetables, and 10 servings of omega-3 salmon oil. And those are the benefits that you get from using this product. And I want to say that even as a base of Pro Vitality and Neolife Shake, you are good to go. And I think I want to stop in the interest of time and say that it has been great having you. And I hope what we've shared this morning